Hi there guys, I'm Nikhil from GreedyTech and these are the best features and some important tips and tricks about the LG V30 and the V30 Plus. The first best feature about this phone is its full view POLED display. This phone comes with a 6-inch POLED full vision display with Quad HD Plus resolution in 18:9 aspect ratio with 81.2% screen to body ratio. LG has showcased the POLED panels in CES 2015 as an alternative to Samsung's AMOLED panels. And earlier LG used it in the LG G Flex 2 smartphone. And after 2 years, LG has started using the POLED panels, starting with the LG V30 Plus. So with this POLED panel you get deeper blacks and saturated colors, just like the Samsung's AMOLED displays. Besides that, it has very small bezels at the top and bottom and gives you a very immersive experience. Next best feature about this phone are the wide-angle cameras. On the rear, this phone comes with a dual camera setup with a 16 megapixel primary camera with f1.6 aperture, with 71-degree field of view, optical image stabilization and electronic image stabilization. Besides that, it has a 13 megapixel wide-angle camera with f1.9 aperture and 120-degree field of view. On the front, it has a 5 megapixel camera with wide-angle lens with f2.2 aperture and 90-degree field of view. In daylight and well-lit conditions, cameras themselves are pretty good, and because of the wide-angle lens, they are really fun to play with. The next best feature about this phone is the IP68 water and dust resistance. This phone is IP68 certified, where the 6 stands for the dust resistance and 8 stands for the water resistance. So this phone can be submerged underwater for 30 minutes up to a depth of 1.5 meters. Now all that just means you can use your phone in a pool or on a rainy day without worrying about damaging it. Next, this phone supports Qualcomm's Quick Charge 3.0. Well, most of the flagships support some kind of fast charging, but as this phone supports Qualcomm Quick Charge 3.0, you can also use any other third-party power adapter that is Qualcomm certified, and you can also use power banks that supports quick charging, like the MI power bank, to charge your phone quickly. Going on next, this phone supports wireless charging. To be more specific, this phone supports 2 types of wireless charging. One is the regular one and the other one is the fast wireless charging. And if you use fast wireless charging, you can get up to 50% of charge in just 55 minutes. That's pretty decent for wireless charging. Now the next best feature about this phone is the quad DAC and the audio jack. While companies like Google, HTC and Apple are killing the audio jack, on this phone you still get an audio jack with water resistance, and it comes with a dedicated 32-bit hi-fi quad DAC. It comes with 4 sound presets and 3 digital filters and gives you the best audio experience on headset unlike any other phone out there. Next we have facial recognition. After iPhone 10, everyone seems to be interested in facial recognition, even though they're not able to do it as good as Apple. Anyway, this phone comes with facial recognition and setting it up is pretty simple. Now unlocking speeds are debatable. In good lighting conditions it is fast, not as fast as OnePlus 5T, but it is still fast. But currently this feature is half-baked. You can even use your picture to unlock the phone. It also has an additional security feature to prevent that, but it takes even longer to unlock the phone. Next, this phone comes with voice recognition, where you can unlock the phone or turn the screen on by your user-defined keywords. Setting it up is pretty simple. You need to say the same word 4 times and that's all it takes, and I put the password as Hey Jarvis and it really works. You don't need to be on the lock screen. Even when your phone is locked and sitting on a table, once you say those 3 magical words, your phone will unlock. In fact, it's so good that if someone tries to record those words and play it on a speaker, it will still unlock the phone. Hey Jarvis. So once again, it's not secure, just something you want to boast about. Going on next, just like the LG G6, even this phone comes with an always-on display, but because of the POLED display, it's much more battery efficient. There is no LED notification light on this phone, so you're covered with this always-on display. Whenever you lock the phone, you get the time, date and notifications always shown on the sleeping screen, like the Samsung or the Pixel phones. But unlike those phones, you can make the display even brighter. You can even swipe on it to check out the notification icons, notification toggles, and music control. Now the next best feature, and in fact the most less talked about feature, is the haptic feedback on this phone. LG is using high precision vibration motors to deliver you different vibration feedback for almost all the interactions that you try to do with your phone. Whether it is using the navigation bar, dismissing notifications, using the floating bar, changing sliders on camera app, or even taking pictures, everything you do, you get a different haptic feedback. On the whole, haptic feedback on this phone is very unique and you should really try it to know what it's all about. Next, we have some unique camera features like manual video recording, where you can change the focus point, aperture, shutter speed, even for video recording. And the best thing is that we can change those settings even while you're recording the video. We can also record the video in LG Cine log, where we can color grade the footage later. In manual mode, we can also choose to record audio in high definition, which is again a very unique thing. Next, we have a feature called point zoom. Most of the phones allow us to zoom in even while recording video, but most of them do it at the center. But on this phone, we can zoom in at a specific point, and this is how you do it. Now this is a sample footage where I tried to point zoom in. Next, we have a dedicated mode called as Cine Video mode, where LG offers you 16 different color grade presets to add a cinematic look to your videos. These are some sample footages. Next, we have a feature called Graffiti. Everyone wants to take those perfect shots, but most of the time we can't in the auto mode. So we have to switch to manual mode. So in this manual mode, to make our lives even more easy, LG is offering something called as Graffiti, where we have different presets for manual mode to take those perfect shots. Next, we have a feature called as Camera Roll. This phone has a massive 6-inch display, but if you see the preview screen, most of it is empty. But with this Camera Roll feature, you can fill up the empty space with your previous images, so you get a quick preview of the pictures you took earlier. I just wish all the phones having this new 18:9 aspect ratio offer this feature. Going on, next we have some gestures or shortcuts to take pictures. For the front camera and rear camera, we have an option to take picture by saying cheese. We can also use other terms, but this is probably the best one. Next, we can also take pictures using the front camera using a gesture. Just do this gesture and it takes a picture. If you do it twice, it will take 4 pictures. Next, this phone comes with US military standard 810G drop test certified. This phone has passed 14 US military tests, which includes drop tests, hot and cool temperatures, immersion, rain, humidity, and dust test. On the whole, this certification just tells us how durable this phone is. The next feature is called as a floating bar. One of the most unique features of the LG V series phones, or at least the past 2 phones, was the secondary display. Unfortunately, it isn't there anymore, but if you want to use some quick shortcuts, we have something called as a floating bar that hides on the side. You can have your music controls, quick contacts, quick applications, and some handy toggles. Next, we have Bluetooth 5.0. Unlike most of the phones that come with Bluetooth 4.2 or 4.0, this phone comes with Bluetooth 5.0, which increases the range by 4 times and increases the speed by 2 times. It is more secure than the previous version and consumes very less battery. So guys, those were the best features that are unique to the LG V30 Plus. We still have a lot more features like knock on. We have the option to wake the screen by a double tap and put it back to sleep by a double tap once again. Once you enable this toggle, when the phone is locked, you can simply double tap the screen to wake it up. You can double tap the lock screen to put it back to sleep. In the default launcher, you can double tap in an empty area to put your phone to sleep once again. You can even double tap the status bar to lock your phone. This phone has a power button on the back, and it isn't always easy to lock the phone, especially if the phone is placed on a flat table. So when you're in that situation, you can simply double tap the status bar to lock the phone. Next, we have comfort mode. To protect your eyes at night, we have this feature called comfort mode, or in most of the phones it's called as night mode, where it adds a warm tint to your screen to filter blue light. You can use these settings to enable it. We can also schedule it to automatically turn on at a specific time, and we also have the option to turn the screen black and white. It helps you save some battery life, and while you're reading any articles or books, it gives you a Kindle-like feel. Next, we have some quick shortcut keys. In the lock screen, you can press the volume down button twice to quickly open the camera app, and you can press the volume up button twice to open a quick memo. You need to enable these settings to start using this feature. Next, we have mini view or one-handed mode. Once you enable this toggle, you can simply swipe left or right on the navigation bar to shrink the screen size. It can be useful for people with smaller hands or if you want to use the phone single-handed. Next, we have gaming settings. Gaming on this phone feels really amazing because of the massive display, OLED panel, and the performance. To make the experience even better, we have some additional features related to gaming. We can take a break where the display doesn't respond until you press the play button. We can even take a screenshot and adjust game graphics. We can change the resolution and frame rate to improve battery life. Next, we have smart settings. It's LG's version of automation. Let's say you want to do some task when you're at home or when you connect to a specific Bluetooth device. You can configure all those automation tasks from here. Next, we have some themes. The entire theme collection isn't all that fancy, but it's a good place to start with to take advantage of the AMOLED display. And finally, this phone is Daydream ready. Daydream is Google's version of high-quality mobile VR experience. So if you have Google's VR headset, you can experience a whole new of VR on this phone. So guys, now for some important tips and tricks. First, I'll show you how to change the settings panel. To go to settings, you can go from here. Let me just close this first. Okay, this is the tabbed view, and if you want to have the stock Android style, you can go over here and click this button and it will take you to the list view. In my opinion, some settings are hidden or completely invisible in this mode, so stick with the tab view mode. This is it. Next, I'll show you how to turn on app drawer. So this is the default home launcher that comes pre-installed when you first turn on the device. All the apps are thrown onto the home screen and there's no app drawer. So to enable the app drawer, go to settings, select display. This is the display tab. Now select home screen, select the first option. Now select home and app drawer. Now you'll go to a launcher where you have an app drawer, and this is the app drawer with all the apps installed. If you really want an app drawer, I'll suggest you to install the Nova Launcher instead. Once you install Nova Launcher from Play Store, go to the same location to change the default home launcher. Once I select Nova Launcher, it will be changed and we get stock Android style app drawer, which is very responsive. Going on next, I'll show you how to change these on-screen buttons. So for that, just go to the settings. In settings, go to display. Once again, let's go to tab view. In display, select home touch buttons. Now select button combination. Now this is the default setup, and now we can add some extra buttons anywhere on the navigation bar. I can do simply like that to add this button over here. Now when I click this, it will bring down the notification bar. I can do this to move it around. I can also replace it with some other button. This is the capture button. So when I click it, it'll take a screenshot and I can doodle whatever I want and save it as an image in the gallery application. Next, we can use this option to quickly switch between the primary SIM and the secondary SIM. So I just like to keep it simple, and this is what I really like the most. So this is my default setup where I have the button to bring down the notification bar at the right side corner of the screen. And this is how it works. If we go back, we have this cool option called Hide Home Touch Buttons. From here, you just enable this button, and let's just open Google Chrome. Now, when we open Google Chrome, we see this button at the bottom left corner of the screen, and when you touch it, the navigation bar will hide. Now you'll get a more immersive experience. You can swipe from the bottom to again access the navigation bar. When you go to the home screen, you can see these buttons. When you go to Chrome once again, these buttons are hidden. Now let's open Google. Once again, if you want to hide the navigation bar in this application, just click this button. If you're lazy to do it for each and every app, you can simply come to these settings and enable it for all the applications that you want to have an immersive experience. So whenever you open these applications, navigation bar will be hidden and you can simply swipe from the bottom to access it. Next, I'll show you how to use split screen mode. So starting from Android 7.0 Nougat, Google has introduced the split screen mode where you can use two applications at the same time. Let me just show you how to do that. To start a split screen mode, simply press and hold the recent apps button and the current application will be opened in a window. Now we can swipe the center button, top or bottom, to increase the size of an application. We can swipe it down to close the secondary application or swipe it up to close the primary application. And now you have only one application. Another way to open an application in split screen mode is simply to open recent apps page. Now touch and hold the application that you want to open in split screen mode, go to the top and leave it. Now you can select the secondary application from any of these applications or simply go to home screen and select your secondary application. Now all this sounds fancy, nice, but when you try to open some applications, you'll get an error saying that this application is not usable in a split screen mode. Now there's a fix around for that. For that, simply go to settings, you need to go to general, scroll all the way to the bottom, about, common, software information. Now click build number 7 times. Once you do that, developer options will be enabled. You need to go back. Over here you have the developer options. Now scroll all the way to the bottom and enable force activities to be resizable. Now you need to restart the phone. Once you restart the phone, you will be able to use all applications in split screen mode, including Instagram. Now this phone comes with a polar display, colors are saturated. For some reason, if it's not to your liking, you can change the color calibration from settings. Just go to settings, then go to display settings. Once again, I'm switching to the tab view. Now select display. Now scroll and select screen color. From here you can select between different modes and different color profiles that matches your preference. Finally, we have app scaling. This one comes with a new 18:9 aspect ratio. Most of the applications are not made for this particular aspect ratio. So some applications like Google or Facebook might open in full screen mode, but some applications will have two bars at the top and bottom. For example, this application called Amazon Now is not correctly configured. So let me just open this application. As you can see, there is a black bar at the bottom. Now to make this application full screen, we can either press this button and press Go Full, or you can simply go to this settings once again. In display settings, select app scale, and now select Amazon Now and select the full screen aspect ratio. Press OK. And the next time you open Amazon Now, it will open this application in the full screen mode. So this is the full screen mode. Now finally, this is just a quick tip. On YouTube while watching videos, if you see two black bars on the sides like this, you can make it full screen by using a pin gesture. You can do a gesture like this to make it full screen. This is a video from MKBHD and you can see that there are two black bars on either sides. I can do this to make it full screen. If you are unable to do it, just make sure all the applications on your phone are up to date and it should work in few minutes. So guys, those were the best features and important tips and tricks for your LG V30 and the V30 Plus. Do let me know if I missed out on anything by commenting below this video, and if you are planning to buy this phone, use the link in the description. It really helps the channel. So guys, if you want us to make any specific video, tweet out to us with the hashtag AskGreedyTech on Twitter and we will try to do it as soon as possible. If you like this video, hit that like button and subscribe to our channel to see more cool videos on tech. I'm Nikhil from GreedyTech signing off. Have a nice day.